The Tortoise and the Snake, a bedtime fable for adults. And prime ministers. Once upon a time, at the edge of the magical green forest, lived Keir, a hapless tortoise and leader of the animals. When he was a boy, Keir had dreamed of crossing the river to visit a merryland and show off the wooden tools his father had made him. And when he grew up, Keir told everyone he met that his father was a tool maker. Now he was leader, Keir decided to visit a greedy walrus named Donald, who lived in a merryland and really loved gold. Keir had heard a rumour that Donald wanted to be best friends with a rat called Vladimir, which would be bad for everyone in the forest and a merryland. Keir wanted to be Donald's best friend because no one in the forest liked Keir very much anymore, as he kept making silly decisions that made all the other animals angry and sad, and even Keir's fellow tortoises like Wes and Angela were starting to think that Keir was really quite useless. As Keir prepared to cross the river to see Donald, a slimy snake slithered up to him and with an insincere smile said to Keir,
"Hello, Keir. I'm Peter, the snake. I know you want to be friends with Donald. Take me with you to a merryland. I'm very charming, and I have lots of friends like Donald."
Keir wasn't sure about being Peter's friend. He'd been warned by other forest animals, including Gordon the donkey, that Peter couldn't be trusted and had some very dubious friends, especially the rattlesnake Geoffrey. Gordon told Keir that he had caught Peter passing messages to Geoffrey in their club, telling him everyone's secrets, which was the naughtiest thing Peter had been caught doing so far. So trying to sound firm and strong, Keir said,
"Oh, Peter, you're a snake, and everyone knows that snakes can't be trusted. It's in your nature to lie. All the other forest leaders who trusted you were let down by you and sacked you, so how can I trust you?"
But as Keir looked at Peter, a strange hypnotic spell came over Keir, and as Peter spoke in a seductive tone, his snake eyes twirled and shone in front of Keir.
"Trust in me, Keir. Don't look into my past in too much detail. I shed my old slimy skin. I'm a good snake now. I know lots of important people in a merryland already, so I can introduce you to them."
And the more Keir stared into Peter's hypnotic eyes and listened to Peter's lies, the more Keir thought he could trust Peter. Because Keir was very weak, and though he had a hard shell to hide inside, Keir had absolutely no backbone whatsoever. Keir asked Morgan the Weasel, who knew all the gossip about Peter.
"Oh, Keir, you have to take Peter with you. Everyone in a merryland thinks Peter is wonderful, and he'll help you to be chums with Donald."
So, easily persuaded by Morgan, Keir ignored everything he already knew about Peter's dishonesty and his friendship with the evil Geoffrey. So finally, Keir decided to take Peter with him to persuade Donald to be Keir's best friend, and not to eat Keir, as Donald was known to be very greedy. Before beginning the journey, Keir agreed to take Peter to an exclusive swamp where his privileged reptile friends lived, to say goodbye to his peers. But when they arrived, everyone was sleeping soundly on lush green benches and doing nothing of any use whatsoever, so they quietly rode away. Peter wondered if they should pay a last visit to Andrew, the only creature who had ever been transformed from a prince into a grumpy, slimy toad. As a prince, Andrew thought himself to be very important indeed, but now he was banished to live in a tiny, dirty pond, the size of a shoebox deep in the forest, for doing some very bad things with Geoffrey that he really didn't want to talk about. But they thought better of it. Peter held tightly onto Keir's shell as they began their perilous journey across the river to visit Donald. Very soon they spotted a swanky yacht where Peter's friend and fellow viper, Michelle, was sunbathing herself. Michelle said they could have got a ship if they had indirectly benefited from all the tax-paying forest animals when lots of them had been very sick. Michelle shared a cocktail with her husband, and they both laughed at the rest of us. Keir and Peter sailed on through the rough waves, but just as they reached halfway, Keir suddenly felt a sharp pain in his neck. When Keir turned around, he saw Peter stabbing him in the back with his poisonous fangs. As Keir felt the final drops of political credibility seep from his body, he cried out,
Peter, what have you done? You've stabbed me in the back, just like all the other leaders who trusted you before. How could you do exactly the same thing to me? Now we'll drown together. But Keir, I'm Peter. I'm a snake. It's in my nature.
And so Keir, the totally useless tortoise, and Peter, the slimiest snake in the forest, sunk together, never to be heard of again. And all the forest animals celebrated and lived happily ever after. Until Donald and Vladimir came to eat us all up. The end. Good night, everyone.